Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order, the meeting of January 7th, and I hate to say this, but 2025. All righty, can I get a roll call, please?
Sorry, yes. Commissioner Hall?
Here.
Commissioner Byers?
Here.
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Vice Chair McElina?
Here. Okay. All righty, do we have any declarations of conflict of interest?
No, sir.
No, sir. Hearing none, seeing none. Yvonne, can we have a certification of compliance?
I will, yes, I will certify, yes, I will certify that we followed the requirements of the Open Meetings Act and our local act. What's the number on that? 2025-01. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Now, we need an approval of the agenda. Has everyone read it?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Hall? Aye. Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Vice Chair McElina?
Aye. Passes. And has everyone looked over the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the meetings of the regular meeting from December 3rd.
I'm here.
Oh, hey.
Mr. Ball just joined us.
We see you now.
You want to second it, Rick?
Second.
There, we got a motion and a second.
So we have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner Baugh?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Vice Chair McElina?
I'm going to abstain because I was not here. Okay. So next we have public input for anything that is not currently on the agenda today. Anyone have anything they'd like to talk about? Oh, we have one.
Got one.
Okay. Yes.
Dawn McGlasson, resident of Ruidoso. My question is, when's the Airbnb meeting going to happen that was scheduled before the fire, the public meeting?
Do we have any update, Alex?
We are tentatively planning for a public style meeting, town hall style meeting sometime later this month.
It's not scheduled yet?
It is not yet scheduled, but we will certainly make sure that when we schedule something, that we will make sure that the public is certainly aware through all the usual channels.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go into the quasi-judicial public hearing. And Alex, could you give us the rezone case?
Yes, sir. So we have a request here for a rezone from the R1 residential district, single-family district, to the C2 community commercial. This is on US Highway 70. And the property is currently being used as a RV park, and that is the intended continued use of the property.
Okay, do we have any representatives from the property? Come down, please. If you guys would, just raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in. Give us your name, please.
Remington Johnson.
Johnson Remington.
Matt Ingram?
Matt, you guys swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
You're in.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Just a quick little breakdown of what we're dealing with here.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Well, good afternoon, Commission. My name is Matt Ingram. I'm here with Remington Johnson. Remington is a current owner of Pine Ridge RV Resort, which is located,
It's off Glade, it's off I-70, across from the post office, up there.
up there behind the Humane Society. There's an RV park up there on the hillside. Remington and them bought, last year, the RV park?
Yes.
Yep, and has expressed interest in the RV park that's across the road there, right off the highway, just past Camelot, the entrance to Camelot. Mr. Steve Dyer, the owner of the property, has had the property really updated to, and I've included a master plan in this presentation, but has a fully developed RV park. When we were looking at the transaction to purchase the property, it noted that it was residential 1, R1. And per the city ordinance, C2, I think, is appropriate commercial designation to own and run an RV park on there. So we were just a little concerned with that and wanted to bring it in front of you guys and see about the rezoning of that property. It's already had water installed onto the property in 2004. There was a whole capital improvement application that they did. I don't think that there was any funds to get and put water down there, so Mr. Dyer himself actually brought and paid for the water to be brought into the RV park, the sewer, electric, as well as the natural gas to the property. So he has operated that RV park. It's not currently being operated. Kind of a hint of why he's looking at selling. When we did our diligence and seeing that it was R1, we contacted Stephanie and we're kind of here in front of you. I know that the sewer's been run, water's been run off of the top there, coming through. The water actually doesn't come from the highway side. It comes, and I don't know the name of the road that comes on the north side of that property, actually dumps off the hill and services the RV park there. So really, all the infrastructure's been put in. Ricky LeMay put in all the electric transformers back in the day. Each site has power, has water. There is a single-family residence on there. It's the old Bennett property. They used to do a trading post back there back in the day. Pine Ridge RV is also purchasing an additional lot on this. It's the lot 25947, which is currently zoned commercial 2. And so that would be included in the RV park purchase as well. Is there anything I'm missing?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Our plan once we purchase is to not only improve Pine Ridge, the RV park, the one we have, but also improve this park as well and make them sister, kind of the same park. We plan to maybe add, different types of kind of amenities, like having, the glamping and the dry camping, and really make it kind of a fully, functional type of resort. This is, my history is working with my dad in real estate development, and we've mainly done single-family homes. But since COVID, we've gotten into the RV industry. This is our first park that we got, and we plan to make this a network of parks. So we plan to get parks in Texas, Colorado, and Arizona, and create kind of like a camping kind of pass where you can go to each resort. And we also plan to make each resort kind of have a theme, so that ties into each state, to kind of make it a more attraction. So when guests show up, it's not just your normal camping. You also have themes and for kids and amenities. And we plan to make these kind of a higher end, so you're gonna have your security guard gate and, and such. The reason why we like the park across the street as well is because we can get bigger RVs in there. Currently on the RV park we have, as it sits, it's kind of on the hill and kind of tiered, and we can't get in the big fifth wheels that we want and such, so. I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, the track, I think, is at 10.59 acres.
Okay. All righty,
I would stand for any questions you guys might have on the property.
guys? Josh, you have any questions, or?
I'm just trying to think. No, y'all, so is this hinging on the purchase of the property, more or less?
Yeah, I mean, we want to improve the park, as it is. I mean, you know, the spaces we like to improve. It does have a paved street that goes up, but, you know, there's not a lot of trees, so maybe putting in, you know, casitas or bringing in cabins, and maybe, you know, it is kind of, as it's master plan right now, it's pretty compact, so we probably maybe rearrange it and kind of open it up so it's not as many spaces, or find areas that aren't developed to maybe move some. But yeah, we like to improve it. Also on the 2 acre or the 1 acre plot that's attached, we plan to, you know, build a nice clubhouse there, possibly, you know, restaurant or amenities. I don't know if, you know,
Sky's the limit.
yeah, we'll see. And then create a cool theme and, you know, have an arcade and, you know, really build off that as well. We plan to do.
Huge, yeah. Good for you. Okay, sir. That's all I got.
Yeah, we felt that, we're not really sure how we got to the point where it's an operational RV park without the proper zoning, the master development. I mean, they've gone in and put all the utilities, and so we're just a little concerned about that. I don't even know how the current seller, now knowing this, would even be able to operate his RV park moving forward, knowing that, you know, we're out of ordinance and, he would be, you know, going against the grain there.
Bart, you've been here a while. Have you seen it? Really operational?
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded at the fact that it is R1, and being along the highway there, it ought to be C2 anyways.
Sure.
That's only natural that I would think, and how it ever got developed and approved under an R1 status is beyond me, but I think it's a no-brainer that it should be.
And just the history on this property, during its operation, it was prior to the initial zoning. And so it's been a non-conformance property that's been operating since it was in operation prior to the initial zoning. And that's why it was focused, that's why it's been focused. So now, if anything does happen to the property afterwards, that's why it's being brought to you all, to go ahead and fix that issue.
So there was just one owner prior to, okay, so this is like the first change of ownership in the property in decades, okay. I guess the only question I would have, I noticed in the staff report, they noticed that the development does cross several lot lines, and they recommended replatting, combine both those tracks into a single track, single plat. Are you guys able to do that in a reasonable period of time? I mean, it makes sense from the village's perspective, from ordinances and the county and all that. I mean, if it's gonna be one operation, it should just be one piece of property, not two.
Yeah, and combining all of those, I think it would just be a discussion, but I think that right now would probably be open to.
Yeah, I don't see an issue
I mean,
with
really,
that.
moving forward is we do have this track, and I don't know, if we go to our zoning map, page 2, it's gonna be track 25947. That is a separate track that he's purchased, that was not part of the Bennett track initially.
That's already zone C.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and are you talking about putting that one in?
No, just the one that's before us now, that's basically on two lots.
Right,
4-3 and 3-3.
3-3.
I don't see an issue, yeah.
Yep.
It makes it cleaner, and it should make it cleaner for your bank and your financing
Yeah.
too, because you'll have one property, one lot.
Yeah.
They can tie it all to one thing much easier.
And I imagine that 25943 has the single-family resident currently on there. So just blending all of those, in, I don't think would really be an issue. In fact, that'd probably be initially our office space, this house.
Office, clubhouse, office, until we can
Figure out what that.
figure on the second lot what to do.
So is that something we need to come to planning and zoning for a replat, or?
No, you just need to work through the planning and zoning through Stephanie and the department, just get it done and recorded, and when that's known, because that'll probably just be a condition of the rezoning, is that that's done and recorded, and.
And commissioners, I think the replat was on hold until the idea of the purchase was actually done,
Okay.
based on whether the rezone is completed. So our team wouldn't address that until after they decide to move forward.
Okay.
So can we stick this as a stipulation that they do the rezoning after they get, or
Replat.
The replat, yes, that can definitely be a condition on the item that they replat together once the rezone happens.
okay. Do you guys Want to attach that? I mean.
No,
I
I'm
think
good
it
with
would clean
that.
up
Yeah,
the-
Yeah,
it would
I
make
think
it
it
a
needs
lot
to be done.
cleaner, and I think it would behoove everybody.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Just make it as a, from the staff
yeah,
recommendations.
not an issue.
That way we're ready.
We have one address.
Yeah.
One address.
One address.
Yeah, yeah.
Banks like that, county likes that, village likes that, 911 likes that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lincoln County Tax Assessor likes that.
yeah.
It works for everybody much better. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I had. That was the only thing I had.
Okay, I'm good. Can I hear a motion?
Bart?
This is a public hearing, so you'll need to have the public hearing before you act on this.
Okay, sorry about that. I was jumping the gun here.
No problem. Otherwise, we'd be back here in a month redoing this.
Yeah. This is why you're.
Nope.
That's right, I was sleeping on the job. Okay. Do we have anybody else that would like to speak on this matter?
I don't see anybody.
Online,
No, I just.
in person?
Rick,
Hearing none, seeing none?
close the public hearing.
And then also, I guess for formality, I would also read into the record, our staff recommendation is for approval of this request. We do believe that it is in conformance with the village codes, with the development in the area, and would also say that if there are going to be some either expansion or major changes, because technically with the C2 zoning, a conditional use permit is required. At this point in time, we're not putting that requirement on there, but we'll talk to see if there's something in there that triggers that. And then there would also likely be some, that would be in a separate action.
We're just saying we need to apply for our conditional use permit for, once it's zoned appropriately,
Correctly.
then we'll come as Pine Ridge
Yeah.
RV
Yeah,
park.
so we'll talk a little bit more about your plans and see if there's any additional approvals that you would need from the commission at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Does that
Commissioner
count for
McElina,
consideration?
as a recap, 23 letters were mailed, 1 letter was returned, and 0 written responses were received for today's hearing.
Okay,
Stephanie, okay.
yep,
I guess you can close the public hearing.
okay. With that, I'm gonna close the public hearing. Commissioners?
Would you like me to, since I'm the one
Yeah.
reading today, based on the foregoing findings of fact per 54-65, 54-92, 54-100, and 54-148 of the Village Code, I move to recommend the approval to the Village Council the requested zoning classification for case number RZ-2024-317, based on the findings of facts stated within the case report and subject to the recommendations of, on page 18 to 26, the 3 recommendations the staff made, plus the replat of the 2 lots into 1 once the rezoning is approved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner Byers,
Aye.
Commissioner Baugh,
Aye.
Vice Chair McElina.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay. Moving on. We have a community development report, Alex.
Nothing really that stands out in the report. I guess I would just also see that we are continuing to see a return toward normalcy, standard levels that we are, and growth in both the lodgers tax and the short-term rentals as well. And then also with the building permit activity still chugging along, yeah. If you have any questions on that or anything else, I'll be glad to answer them.
No, it was pretty straightforward.
I do have a quick update, just so you all know.
Cobb Finley will be sending hopefully a draft idea of the culvert counts, so it'll impact roads and bridges. Hopefully by the end of the week, the H&H study is still on track to hopefully be finished by mid-January, which means that'll be coming back to council probably by February, so that you all see what the updated possible floodplains will look like. But just wanted to make sure you were aware of those items as well.
Where are we on 603 Meacham?
I have no water. Utilities are broken ground and things have frozen over. No, but all of the houses are actually on the ground. They are finalizing the last pad this week. They're waiting for temperatures to be decent so that they can pour the last concrete piece. They have started utilities. Those we're aiming to be complete by the end of January. Depending on weather, that's really going to push us back and forth. So it may be February. I mean, these temperatures today, they were doing work outside, but the pipes were completely frozen this morning when we were up. So they're just trying to get those adjusted. But our goal is February is move-in time for everyone. That's kind of the idea, to get them up and going.
Just a word of going forward on these projects, because we've got a demonstrated history of them. We keep moving dates of move-in dates keep moving. One of the things you might consider tracking are days that are workable and days where the contractor is not on site.
Yes.
Because had we been in this situation, not with the fires, we would have committed the village to over $4 million worth of expenses, because the grant would not have been able to have been satisfied.
So we actually would have been done by June 31st, had the fires not occurred. So actually 4 of the pads were already done and the guys were on the ground. The issue, and this is what we've dealt with, and I understand that there's probably a difference back and forth. One of the major issues is that we only have 2 contractors that are working on this project. Those 2 contractors, because of the fires, ended up leaving the community and trying to get other work so that they could work on different projects while they were gone. Since then, they've contracted 3 or 4 other projects. So when they do come back, most of their teams are not here, and they're actually on 2 other village projects at the same time. So their teams are split 3, 4, or 5 different ways. Instead of having everyone at one location at one time trying to knock out each job by each job, we've seen a significant delay because they're trying to fix everything on timeline. So, for example, to your point, Commissioner Hall, if we had Horton that's due on a grant, that grant has to be done by X date. We're putting everything into that now to try and offset those. We were given a reprieve by the governor on that $4 million. To your point, we would have had to have paid it back. We think there would have been timeframes that we could have had completed at certain times. We're not there. And you're right. We are working a calendar of when people should have been versus they shouldn't versus what was workable, because we did see a significant delay of almost 4 months just on engineering alone out of some of our utilities. So that was significant.
And the other thing too, you might consider, now I'm not sure, and this would just be my ignorance of New Mexico law, is whether or not you can put contract incentives and completion incentives in and penalties. Because I remember back in the days when I was an asphalt paver, when we were paving Interstate 93 south of Boston, we had $10,000 a day incentives to get done by a date. Now, granted, that's a major interstate in a major metropolitan area, but those type of things can help keep contractors accountable.
So just
I don't know whether that's even
comment on that.
possible.
We can do payable issues. So if a contractor is not meeting the certain timeframes, they do get charged a certain amount per day for not meeting the requirements. We cannot include incentives. The way the Constitution is structured on the anti-donation component, incentive-based construction is not allowed in the state of New Mexico.
Yeah, it's a shame because it makes a huge, makes a huge difference, and I've seen it work if it's managed correctly. Okay, that was good. I just wanted to know that.
Yes, sir.
Are they all occupied, or will they all be occupied when moving time's ready?
So we have started wait lists through our third-party manager, and they will, for the most part, all be occupied, I believe, once everything gets turned on.
Good.
What did the final number turn out to be?
We have 10 spots. There's 8 3-bed, 2 baths, and 2 2-bed, 2 baths.
I got a quick question about another issue. I know there's some buildings around town that have been under construction for multiple years. And I'm just curious as to, how long is a permit good for, and what's the stick for getting things completed? And one that I'm referring to in my mind is the one next to the car wash up here on Meacham, that it's behind the ski shop, that it's just been OSB cited basically for quite some time, and
So we do have permits that are good for a year. As long as contractors are showing what's considered considerable work, then we extend those permits. So if there's a delay on engineering, for example, and it may put someone back 6 months, they have to justify and show us that those items are delayed, and then we would extend the permit, the amount of time that the delay is occurring. So we are tracking that there are some instances where there is no work done. Once there isn't any work done, there's another process that falls into place with the village. Ultimately, we try and work with somebody over a period of time, but there is another process that it moves into, whether it's the clean and lean or whatever that program may be. There's an example of a home that we've been working with for 8 years. And finally, we've entered the Clean and Lean program, where the village actually ended up coming in, taking over the process, and then putting a lien on the house to end up fixing the basic 4 requirements. And so now that individual resident owes X amount of dollars in the next 4 years, or the village ends up taking over the property. And so those are the kinds of things that end up happening, but that process in itself is a lengthy legal process, just because of the requirements for property rights and within the state of New Mexico.
Right. Okay.
But we are tracking some that are not active, and we are working with those individuals.
I was wondering about the so-called steakhouse out there by Alto Lake and the status of it. I mean, it's like something happens and then it sits for months, and, the old Incredible.
Yes, sir. So they actually are doing work on that. They've been active with us and coming back and forth on different pieces of paperwork, doing inspections. So that is moving slowly, but it is moving. So
Very slowly.
Yeah, they were there about a month ago. They started working again, so.
Is that going to be somewhere on the same lines? I know there'll probably be some more leniency on that, but like some of these businesses down along the river that flooded out homes.
So homes and businesses that are on the river are actually on hold right now. They will continue to be on hold. The cleanup portion is not on hold. We are actually starting to work with individuals. They could have qualified for the PPDR program. We've asked them if they'd like to participate in that program. We are getting concerns and issues from neighbors that are saying, hey, I get that an issue happened. It's 6 months later. Is my neighbor going to clean their home? And so we're working with some of those residents and some of those business owners to say, have you applied for this program? If you haven't applied, we strongly suggest that you do. I don't want to speak for council, but I do believe that they're having discussions on at what point do we move to say, hey, we've had enough time. How do we start working towards redeveloping or cleaning or figuring out what that process is? With that being said, there's several instances where we do have individuals that can't do anything with their property at the moment. If they clean it up, insurance may say one thing, it's done, we won't rebuild. We do have other instances where they say, yes, we'll take everything off your property, but then they may not qualify for a buyback program or a reimbursement program when those come out. So there's several different issues that are facing people along the river, and I think we're addressing those on an individual basis. But in general, most of that won't come out until after the village and the council adopt the new floodplain ordinance and what those new requirements are, to really give a chance to owners to say, okay, I have to meet these standards. Now I know what I can do to move forward, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, but there is
Yeah.
progress. I have noticed
Yeah.
progress, in
Yeah,
a lot of
noticed the
places. I ran
Chamber
into-
got cleaned up down there,
Yeah.
Two Rivers.
Well, that's-
There's some cleaning.
yeah, I saw you down there with a shovel.
Oh, yeah, I've been busy. That's why I look like I did.
No, I did run into one of the, I guess, managers for FEMA is hired by, well, I guess DRC or whatever to manage.
The state through
county.
DRC, yes, sir.
And they said they had gotten over 500 of the 700 that they had agreements to go
Yes.
on to. So, my word to the village and the council is encourage people, if they're eligible for that, to do that. That is literally free to get their lot cleared.
They may take a portion of insurance, but it's a small portion versus what you would pay a contractor. And we are strongly advocating for residents in general, neighbors. Please, please, please let your neighbors know there are programs available. If they don't know about them, contact the village. We can encourage them to help get them involved in those programs for cleanup. There's right-of-way debris that just started again yesterday by the state. So you mentioned the chamber, you mentioned there's 2 or 3 other locations where the village has gone out and done some of that debris removal based on classification by the state on how we can assist. We're trying to get the state to come out and do more of that debris cleanup. There's a lot of white goods that have been left behind that are debris from the flood. And so we're trying to identify a lot of that where there's some people that are actually out of state and we're having trouble trying to contact those individuals. And so people are starting to dump items on their property. We're trying to clean up that property, but we don't have access. So we have to actually enter into what's called an entry agreement. If we don't have an entry agreement onto some of those properties, we legally cannot take a step on there or we're trespassing. And so we're trying to work as much as we can with the state and with our residents to get everything cleaned up. Not just because we're a tourism community, but because it's the best thing to do for the community to help our neighbors. So if you have anyone or know of anyone and they don't have anything in place, please, please, please give them my cell phone number, tell them to call the village. We'll work with them directly to try and get involved in a program.
It's getting there slowly,
Yeah.
but it's
Trying to
moving.
move
I've noticed.
We're making progress.
There's progress. We're trying to move as fast as we can, but we're finding little crevices everywhere we go.
Sure you are.
I'm sure.
It is crazy. We found a pile that was like 20 feet tall that we didn't know existed in between 2 homes behind Upper Canyon that people were just dumping at. I was like, where did
Yeah.
that come from? What the heck? Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Give you answers, but
I don't want to know. I don't want to know, so.
You don't have any gray hair yet, Mike.
Yeah.
You're good.
Oh,
I don't have anything else.
That's good.
Any other commissioner comments?
Yeah.
Do you guys like to get off early?
Make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second that.
Second?
Let it rip.
We don't need a roll call.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, they already said it.
Thanks for joining us, Rick.
Oh,